Hey there, this is Kristi from birdmentor.com, where I teach people how to learn about birds. And I was just a second ago hearing a sort of barking call from the raven not too far away, and started to learn that that's usually what they say when there's a hawk around. And so there actually was it was pretty far up, it was pretty far away, which is why I don't think the raven was chasing it, but it was flying up over the trees, actually, well, much higher than the trees, pretty far off. Anyway, hope you're all doing well today. Just thinking about everybody and wanting to help people stay connected right now, stay connected to the earth and to nature. And so yesterday I was out on a run. I know there's some people right now who aren't able to get outside, who are being asked to actually stay in their homes, and some people don't have backyards to hang out in, and others do right now. And so, yeah, I remember there was a video that was posted yesterday somewhere in California of police on horseback who stopped a surfer from going in the water because they've shut down some of the beaches over there, and it just felt so sad and crushing to see that someone's not able to go to the ocean right now. And yeah, I understand the reason for that. I also think that there's still a lot of places around the country where people haven't been asked to stay away from nature, and what I've been seeing is that the reason why beaches and national parks and all that have to get shut down is because there's so many people coming together all at once. And right now we just asked, there's a local nature center here, which is this lovely 4,000 acres of land where I grew up, and they just put a post out today to ask people to limit the number of folks, while you're out there. And it would just be so sad to see that shut down right now, because people aren't willing to go and look for some place that's a little maybe less easy to get to. And so I'll just encourage you folks to do that. Like if you're somewhere where, it's a typical park where lots of people go to, and you see a bunch of cars already there, just don't go. Go find somewhere else, maybe a smaller access, or even if you just go for a walk on the street. Just getting outside in some capacity, but try and keep it to a minimum, or go during a time of day when not many other people are out there. Sometimes I'll go out when it's dawn, right before the sun rises, or right at dusk, just like, especially if you're in an area where it's fairly safe, then you can go to places in nature during those kind of off-peak hours, I guess you could say now. Anyway, so that's in part, I suppose, what my nature note is for the day. I wanted to share something that I did yesterday on my run. So I went out, and the typical place where I usually run is around the boardwalk here in my town. And instead of, hi Gwen, let's see my friend Gwen watching right now. And instead of running around the boardwalk, because I know I could hear voices, I knew there were lots of people around the boardwalk, I chose to go to this other trail that hardly anyone goes on. And as I was going out there, there's a spot where this little creek kind of crosses underneath this bridge, and so I just stopped, and I was just looking into the water for a while. And this is something I also did a couple weeks ago. I was out on a trail kind of early, and it was actually a part in the trail where it had rained a bunch the night before, and so the trail was mostly kind of washed away. And so I just squatted down and just stared in the water. And I remember doing that as a kid. I remember just staring in the water, and I got to see all these funky cool creatures. Those ones that build those, they're almost like castles of all sorts of different nature things on top of them. I don't know if it's on their back or what exactly it is, but I saw a bunch of those. They had these beautiful contraptions that they've built, and then got to watch these other crazy creatures with amazing claws. And I probably stared into the water for oh gosh, I don't know, it was at least 10 minutes or more. And then there was some folks that were coming down the trail, and I knew they were looking at me kind of funny, what's she doing, I mean, it'd be one thing if I had a kid with me, they'd be oh yeah, right, she's she's doing this with her kid. But doing it by myself as an adult sometimes gets sort of funny looks. But that's what I want to encourage you all to do today, is just take a few moments. And you know, there's this thing now, I think it started in Japan maybe, they call forest bathing. It's really just going out in nature and being in nature, but they found that it actually has some bona fide health benefits for us. And so I'm calling it water gazing. So, you know, just get out there and find a place to just gaze into the water and watch what happens. Like, see how deeply you can look into the creek or even a puddle, you know, and just see there's so much life happening underneath the water, right? Especially right now in the spring. And if you can't get outside, if you can't go to a beautiful place in nature, like one of my students right now is in New York City and she has to stay in an apartment. And so an alternative to gazing into the water would be to look up at the clouds and let yourself, again, like when you were a kid, like just let yourself look up at the clouds and see if you can see any shapes in the clouds or animals in the clouds. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you see, or take a picture of, if it is an animal in the cloud, take a picture of what it is, or also if you see any like crazy, wild, interesting creature in the water, send me a photo of that. I'd love to see what you're seeing. And if this is if this video is something that you think that one of your friends or family could benefit from hearing right now, feel free to share it with them. Yeah, one of my favorite spring birds came back today. It's the eastern phoebe. It was the first time I've heard it singing, and so that bird's arriving. So yeah, things are coming alive right now. And yeah, I really want everyone to stay safe and keep those natural places open as long as we can, because we need them. We need them for our health and our sanity and all sorts of reasons. Nature's a magical thing, and it's important for us as humans to have that animal connection, you know, with the wild. So do your part and stay back if you see lots of other cars at a particular park that you really want to go to. Just choose a different place to go to. I was saying this earlier in the video that there's a place here in our town where lots of people, they were just packed. There was like the parking lot was packed, and it's a place, it's a boardwalk where in some areas it's literally just like 2 feet apart, so there's no way that people can pass safely, especially not if you have kids or dogs or whatever. I mean, safely now, you know, with the social distancing and trying to stay 6 feet away. So yeah, just asking people to try and keep these natural places open as long as possible by staying back. You know, if you see a couple other cars in the parking lot, I know you probably wanted to go there too, but keep driving. You know, look around for a spot that maybe not so many people are at, and you know, spread the word, because I think that way we'll be able to have these natural places for all of us a little bit longer. All right, thanks for joining me today. Have a good one. Bye.